Hello everybody, this is Morgan J. Ingram, Director of Sales Execution and Evolution at J. Barrows Sales Consulting. As you guys see, I am outside, and you're probably wondering, why the heck is Morgan outside? I'm outside because the topic of today for the Sales Development Summit is how to get attention as an SDR. And this is the most critical thing because you're vying for everyone's attention over everyone else to try to get the awareness and try to get the interaction with the prospect that you're going after. So I'm going to go over 4 things today on how to get attention as an SDR. The number one thing on how to get attention as an SDR is you have to have a unique approach in your outreach. Now, there's a multitude of things that you can do to get that unique approach, but this is one of the things I think that's super critical: video. Now, you guys have probably heard me scream on the rooftops about how great video is, how it's applicable, and how you can get in front of your key stakeholders by utilizing this tool. But the reason that it's unique is because most people, as it stands right now, are not doing it. Later, most people will start doing it, but now they're not. So you can use this as a unique tool. And if you guys use Vidyard, like I do, go video, you can have a little bubble on your screen, and you can do it with different types of variations. So two things I really like doing with video are, 1, case studies. You can go inside your case study, play a snippet of the case study. Let's say if it's from minute 20 to minute 50. Those 30 seconds are really critical for that prospect. And you let it play and you pause, and then after you let it play, you talk about the reasons why you actually showed that case study and why it's applicable to that key stakeholder and their industry. I've done that before, and it brings tremendous success because most people just throw case studies out there and they're like, watch the case study, instead of being like, hey, this point is why it's critical and I'm telling you why. And I found so many great results from that. So another thing that you can do is use the little bubble and then go on the website and go over their customers that they have and say, hey, we actually have the same customer over here, or there's a customer that we're prospecting over. So you can also go look at the different customers on their website that's there and then talk about, hey, look, we actually have a case study with this customer as well. So there's 2 variations of using that customer. You can also go on the website and look at their stakeholders that they have, the CEO, CMO, and they actually might have further details in there that are not on LinkedIn. So I can go over the website about that. You can also talk about the different products that they have and what industries they're going after and what success you have going after those industries as well. So that's how I use video to the most degree for unique outreach. Obviously, you can do videos like this where I'm talking and it's just me talking or you talking to the individual prospect to create more of a humanity feel and to get the prospect excited about what you're talking about. Another way, a unique outreach, is triggers. So as I've been working with John, we talk a lot about triggers. So what exactly does that mean? That means going to Owler and looking at, hey, look, oh, wow, they just got funding, so talk about that. Or they just got a leadership change, CMO, CEO, VP of sales. Okay, maybe I need to reach out now and see if there's a new methodology that they're changing within the organization. Maybe, hey, look, I just saw that they got a new office building, so that means they're going to scale. So they're definitely looking to hire more people. So maybe I can talk about, on my behalf, sales training to them. Or maybe you could talk about, hey, they're hiring more people, so they're probably going to maybe get funding soon, right? So it's those triggers that you can use to be unique, because sometimes people just don't do the research, right? They just send a generic templated email expecting to get a response. And then when they don't get a response, they're like, oh, what happened? It's because you weren't unique in your approach. You're not using the triggers that are around you. And we have Google, we have LinkedIn, we have Owler, we have Crunchbase. There's nudges out there. You can use so many different tools to figure out what your prospects are doing and how to get in front of them. So it's super critical that you take the time to actually think about, hey, what am I going to say to this prospect to get them excited and so that they respond? So think about that as well. And then another thing you can do that's another unique outreach is that you can go into face-to-face with people, right? Face-to-face at events and talk to them. That's another unique way to do it, because sometimes people aren't unique and they don't go out to actually go find the prospects at where they're at the events and actually, have a conversation. And so those are some ways to be unique in your outreach and how to get attention as an SDR. Number 2, connect with influencers. This is super critical. It's one of the main things that I did as I began my career as an SDR, is just connect with influencers. And so most people are like, well, how do you do that, right? So there's a couple ways. One way is that you can go talk to the influencer. And so a good way to do that is a personalized LinkedIn connection. Now, I'm not saying a personalized LinkedIn connections is go join my network. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is going out there and saying, hey, look, I just read a blog post from you and I gained a lot of insight from it. The second paragraph that talked about career development is something I'm dealing with right now. And I'd love to connect to see more of your content. Okay, if an influencer will answer that. Another thing that you can do for an influencer is, hey, saw that you just did a video on sales development, and it's something that I've been really thinking about in my career and trying to get better at it, and there were these 3 tips have helped me, and now I'm more excited to go ahead and move forward and learn more about you. Another great way to connect with an influencer, and the reason that you want to connect with influencers is because they're going to give you more insight than you can from other people, and also they're probably in the career longer, and they probably have a lot of just wealth of knowledge that they can tell you for 15-20 minutes to really talk to you about. So I think that that's one of the most critical things you can get attention as, because if you can get people who are influenced, who like you can obviously connect with more like-minded people like them and expand your knowledge and expand your experience as a sales professional and also in sales development. Another key point when connecting with influencers is to engage with their articles, engage with their content. So I talked about sending a personalized invite, but what I'm talking about here is going in the comments and saying, hey, great article. I loved what you had to say here. Or going inside the video and being like, hey, this was an amazing video. It really picked me up today. And the more consistent you are in the comments, the more that they're going to realize, oh, that's a person that I need to pay attention to. The more well thought out your comments are, the more engaged you are. And so one of the things that I've been doing lately is just really just commenting with a ton of influencers to kind of see what's going on. Gary Vaynerchuk's one of the people that I love following and love listening to his advice. I always try to comment on his stuff because I want to get engaged with that community. Tom Bilyeu, who has the impact theory, I try to engage with him a lot. Lewis Howes has a lot of content as well. Tony Robbins and Eric Thomas. I try to keep in the comments because I know that's where like-minded people are at as well. So not only are you getting in front of the influencer and they're seeing that you actually have well thought out responses and that you're a person of character and you're actually a person that knows what they're talking about, you're also connected with other people in the community that are also going to be able to help you in the long run as well. So these are things that you have to think about and also be impacted on. Another point to connect with influencers and really kind of get the methodology that you want and the insight that you want from these people is simply enough is to share their articles. I think a lot of times people, will comment, engage, and they'll send personalized invitations, but they won't share the articles. So sharing the articles with your network will show that you put a stamp of approval on that influencer, and they'll be like, that's a person I want to follow because they're sharing my content, and they're actually adding context around it. Don't just share it and be like, oh, this is cool. Be like, hey, this is cool because I learned this, and this, and that's why I'm learning it. So when you connect with influencers and share that out, your network will appreciate that, right? But also if you add your context, then they'll appreciate your context and they'll see you as credible as well. So use people's content and add your context to bring value to the marketplace and gain attention on what you're selling or what your solution is. So that's point number 2, guys. Connect with influencers. Number 3 is, this is just really big. Like, you got to really, really hone in on this, is sharing content. And I just talked about it with influencers, but what I mean by that is not only just sharing influencer content, but sharing content that's relative to your industry, right? So when I was at Terminus, one of the key things that I would share is account-based marketing articles, account-based marketing videos. Also share marketing videos, like marketing automation. Like, what does that mean? Like, how does Terminus defer ad displays? So I would be sharing this knowledge with my network because that's who I was selling to. I was selling to marketers and I was giving that insight. So I knew I needed to make sure that I was doing the right amount of content to the right people. So then they're like, yes, okay, I need to indulge into that. I need to engage with that. So sharing content is really key. So find the industry that you're selling into and start sharing topics about that, and then also start sharing about the roles that you're going after. If you're going after VPs of marketing, CMOs, start sharing content about what VP of marketing and CMOs are thinking about, or what they're engaged with this year, or what they're going to get involved with. So that way you're like, okay, this is what I want to do. When I see this person, I want to engage with that person now because I see what they're doing. Not just, hey, they've done all the other stuff we talked about before, but now I have content I digest from this person. So I'm going to follow them because I know they're going to share something valuable, and they may not have to go find that content. So now you're seen as the valuable resource that's sharing content and getting people value. And now you're seen as a person of major influence, and people are now excited to talk to you. So think about that as you're continuously going out through your network and sharing places. And where you get this content, you can go get it from Feedly, which you can go set up different article RSS feeds that you can go find the topics and go share them. You can go on Aller and find this content as well. Whoever company that they're sharing, you can go find articles and you can share that as well. You can also go to LinkedIn. If you go to LinkedIn and type in sales development, or if you type in account-based marketing, or if you type in social media marketing and you click on content, you can find articles to share with your audience as well. So this is a very critical way, guys. I see I'm getting really excited here. There's a critical way for you to get engaged, for you to go where you need to go in your career by sharing this content, guys. Be very, 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 very locked in on this. I said a lot of varies, but there's a reason for that, because I want you guys to be locked in on sharing content, because it is the game changer for your career. And you can also share content yourself, like you guys have seen me share the SDR Chronicles, sharing the Ingram Iliad. Now I'm sharing blog posts that I'm making now, status updates to keep your network alive and to show them that you know what you're talking about and you're seeing a valuable person in the marketplace, and becoming that person that people come to be like, oh wait, you talk a lot about this, I know you have a solution for it. So those are ways to share content and get yourself out there. The last but not least, I think is actually the most important, and most people forget about this, is network. And there's a famous quote that says, your network is your net worth. And that's so true. The more people that you know, the more access you have to information, and the more access you have to things that you may have not thought that you could get access to, right? So your network is your net worth, and you need to definitely go check that out. So a couple things that you want to make sure that you dive into, I would say the number one thing is to go ahead and go to events. So that doesn't mean you got to go to Dreamforce, you got to go Serious Decisions. It can be those things, but you can also go to local events, like, down the street. So I'm in Atlanta right now. You guys see this where I'm at. So, there's events that I've been going to as of late that are like, right around the corner. And I've met some really great people by just showing up. And that's half the battle, because most people don't want to show up to networking events. But this is a tactic that I do. I show up by myself almost every single time the networking events, because it forces me to network. It doesn't force me to stay in a bubble and be like, hey guys, like, we're at a networking event, but we're with our 3 friends. No, it's like, I'm here by myself. I have to be proactive, and I can't hang with the same people. I got to go do something else. And that's what I've realized, is that when you do that, it forces you to take a lot of action that you wouldn't have taken otherwise. So force yourself out there and go network with people that maybe you haven't networked with. Another way to network is actually not face-to-face, but I feel like face-to-face is the most important, so don't forget about that, is in Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, Instagram. If you're in an Instagram and you got some people in there, it could be messenger groups, and just networking with them online. So I've actually networked with a lot of people online through the beginnings. So like I told you in the beginning of this video, is personalized invitations, and just talking through the DMs and just having really good conversations. So we met in person. It was almost as if we had been talking for a really long time. So I think it's really important to think about all the assets you have around you and the social media world, and really utilize those to the best of your ability, because there's so much out there and there's so many people you can connect with that you may not be able to see at events because maybe they're busy, or they just not be able to make it to events, or they're not in your area. Like, there's a ton of people that I know, in New York, Boston, Chicago, San Francisco, but hey, look, they're not here in Atlanta. So that's why I use the social networking aspect, social media aspect, to go out there and network with these people that have a lot of influence and that could really help you out along your career. And just don't forget about that, because that's super critical, because you never know what that connection can do for your life, and also do for your professionalism at the end of the day. And I've had a lot of people that I've networked with, and this is the next point, that got turned into mentors. And so the more that you network and you kind of put yourself out there, and the more that you work, you kind of earn mentors. I'm kind of the mentality that you earn your mentor. And so the more that you get yourself out there, the more that you can have that opportunity to have that person. And I believe a mentor is critical for your professional career, because you're going to be able to dodge landmines that you may step on if you didn't have a mentor. So that's why it's important to find a mentor and find someone who's going to really help you get you to the level that you personally want to get to, because I don't believe that we can just get there by ourselves without some type of guidance. And so when you network, that's something that you want to focus in on, is making sure that, and this last point, making sure that you're talking to the right people, engaging with the right people, having conversations, and following up with those people when you network, and keeping a whole database of people that you talk to so you can continuously be engaged with them and you don't lose track of them. Because that can happen. You go to an event, have a great time, you have all these business cards, and you don't follow up, and then now it's like, what are you doing? You're not going to be able to build on these relationships that you built, and now you're lost. So those are ways to network, guys. Like I said, I want to reiterate this again: face-to-face, going to local events, going to a Dreamforce Serious Decisions if your company allows you to go there, going to local meetups that are around you as well, and also going to inside LinkedIn and going to social networks and getting that as well. So those are key points. So guys, those are my 4 points. I'll go over them one more time. Be unique in your approach, connect with influencers, share content, and network. And those 4 things will help you get attention as an SDR and catapult your career. And those 4 things that I just mentioned are things that I did to get where I am today. And I use them. I still will use them to the end of time because they have helped me tremendously in my career as I continue to grow and grow and grow every single day, 1% better. So as I always say, guys, keep dialing, and I'll see you guys soon.